the one thing I'm shocked by, and then we'll get to our positives, is that when it went backups versus backups, and this is probably another reason why he's kind of pissed off, things did not improve. Right? Like then you're expecting, okay, we're on a level playing field. Yeah, but, I mean, you guys beat the Houston Texans 28-26 in that game that you guys didn't play in. And I don't think the Texans played their guys either. And so backups versus backups, you were pretty evenly matched. Not so much last night. All right, Bryan Bulaga, Cousins sub of the day. Cousins subs. We believe in better. Your biggest positive from the Packers' 27-2 defeat in Denver was?
Yes, positive is that we didn't have any injuries that are big notable injuries. I think that's in the preseason, no matter if it's starters or backups, injuries is the thing that I'm always concerned about, because not only could you potentially lose your number two at a position that you may be thin at, but I also look at it from the human side of this, and it can affect a guy to even latch onto a team after the Packers. So I'm always concerned about injuries. The second thing that kind of stood out, and I watched it again during the break I buzzed through the first few drives real quick, was I saw some decent things from the interior part of the line. Now, I think Newman struggled a little bit. I think Monk struggled a little bit. But I thought Sean Ryan at center played okay. That to me was something that I watched, because again, I'm still very confused on why he's not getting, I'm not confused anymore. But it still kind of makes me question if he's going to be the guy that rotates the interior three center guard, why he's not taking any snaps at either guard position and just the center position, and Monk is taking all the snaps at guard. So that part kind of confuses me a bit still, but I think from looking at him play center, he is solidified himself as the guy that will be able to rotate in at all three spots. And I feel good about that, because I know from watching him last year and watching him in these first few preseason games, he's a guy that you can put in there and he can start a game. He can finish a game. He can spot guys if a chin strap gets broken, he can go in there and the level of play will stay the same. So to me, those are my two positives, because I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I always try to find the good things, and there just weren't many. And that's just, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here and really, rain on these guys' parade, but there just wasn't much to be positive about. And that's why Matt LaFleur acted the way he did at the end of the game as well. It's not like I'm saying, or I watched something completely differently than what he watched and what the staff watched last night. We watched the same thing, and I understand the standard that's there. I understand how, even if it's twos versus ones, how he wants it to look, right? It's not saying that you're going to beat Denver's ones with your twos, but there is a certain way you want this thing to look, and it didn't look that way. So those are my positives. I'm sorry that they're not overwhelmingly great, but that's just what it is.
You can't make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. All right, well, mine is a simple one. And then I want to get to calls coming up, because in the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock hours, I want to get deeper into the offensive line conversation that you kind of teased there. They're clearly trying to get Sean Ryan into good condition by playing him more, right? I mean, he played about half the snaps last night. He was done at halftime, but they played him more than they played Andre Dillard, right? So they want to make him play more. So that the line stuff, I want to get into that. And I think in the 10 o'clock hour, the first place I want to go is backup quarterback, because I do think that is another conversation. I asked Tom Clements last week this. I think Sean Clifford has a lot of Matt Flynn to him, except here's the problem. Matt Flynn would have played better last night. And Sean Clifford, no matter how much I like him, I think if he hits on one of those first 2 deep balls down the sideline, I think maybe he feels a little bit different. He gets a little mojo going, and he never did, right?
So we'll get into especially the first one, right?
Right.
Like the first one. That's a complete ball. That's a touchdown most likely, and got a different story, right? Momentum gets going, so like it's a different story. But okay, sorry I interrupted. But
that's all right.
I mean, it's just all the momentum swings in a game, right? Like that. Those are the things you look for, and like something like that happens. This may be a different conversation today. Like it's. I mean, it's just
no, you're right.
It's football.
and by the way, I do the show with Tausch when he's on. I'm pretty used to getting interrupted, so no need to apologize, Brian. But here's my positive. And my positive is a simple one. It's Tyron Hopper, right? You haven't seen Edgerrin Cooper. He's had this hip injury now. He's missed both preseason games. He was the second-round pick. I am an Eric Wilson fan because he is everything that to me is good about NFL players who aren't first-round picks, who aren't gifted. I mean, he came into the league as an undrafted guy, and he has carved out an 8-9-year career here. And right now he's held off the young guys to be the third starter along with Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie at linebacker. And Isaiah McDuffie and Quay Walker got the night off. Eric Wilson did not. So then tells you where he's at, right? But Tyron Hopper plays almost the entire game, leads them in 11 tackles, popped 2 different running backs in the hole pretty hard to get small gains or no gains on running plays. He may be the guy because of the time that Cooper has missed. You wanted one of those draft picks to stand out a little bit. I thought Hopper did last night. And he did not play in Cleveland either because he had an ankle injury. So that, I thought, was a positive on an otherwise positive-free night.